Today we're out in the field to try out this very special forage harvester. They call it a ditch forage harvester because it makes various movements, so it can work both on slopes and right in the ditch. We're doing the first tests with Mauro. Now he's going to start chopping all the headlands. Then we'll go into the innermost part, which I always have a hard time cleaning. Hi to all the farmers, hope you're well. Today we're with Mauro's tractor and Mauro is ready because we're going to try out a very special shredder. We'll use it in different situations to clean all the edges of our vineyard. What we're going to do is not just shred the grass, but also the shrubs. Now these here are small shrubs for a shredder like this, which is built for power. What we're going to do next is clean the ditch. Now, of course, it's a new tool. We need to figure it out a bit. Let's see how it adapts just from the first observations. It works well. Let's see its performance. If you look, the result is already really fantastic. This is also thanks to how it was built. Let's talk about some features of this Geotech Pro AMRB. 160 is the working length of our mulcher. As you can see, the mulcher has these two pistons, which allow it to move practically in almost every direction. So we can move it out of shape, like in this case, and we can raise or lower it. We can raise it almost 180 degrees, both up and down, but we never quite reach 180. A little less, also because we never have, let's say, vertical embankments. Of course, we've used the shredder on various occasions. The only thing we're missing is actually the shredding itself. Ditches where we can get inside to work, so with a downward slope, our ditches are lined with trees, so a shredder like this can't access them to work. We saw it working vertically as well. Using the shredder vertically is, of course, a bit of a special use. We did it for safety reasons, not knowing exactly where the plants are and risking breaking the whole machine and the tractor. And, of course, also for safety reasons, because you can't tell where the slope begins. We prefer to go and cut the plants in some spots that will then be pruned this winter, so that afterwards we can work the tractor under the rows of our plants. So the first pass was to flatten everything in order to see exactly where the trunks are. We removed the brambles. Now we'll make a second pass underneath to clean up thoroughly.
This also needs to be worked on.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, it's important to have a tractor. This one has 75 horsepower.
75 horsepower handles it well. If you go out where it's all asphalt and you're on a slope.
Just a moment, it goes here. Maybe we can say that with this machine. It's important to see how the tractor is balanced.
If you had to ballast it with 150 kilograms.
You say it's a different thing in the front. because I saw that you were really out there in certain parts. But listen, did you used to clean the hedges well first? Because before cutting underneath, do you go and check?
Yes, you go and check if there are any stumps to test.
No, because where do the experts tell you?
Without finding any surprises?
Otherwise, you have to come here with the hedge trimmer by hand and clean everything up. But
if you know the land, you can go safely, but if you don't know it before you go to...
Wait a few seconds instead of making a mess.
Sometimes small actions make a big impact.
And listen, you were telling me that the ones most concerning, the most difficult for machines like this are the small mulberry branches.
The elm, mulberry, and willow shrubs, our joints are the most...
Because they fray.
They fray but resist well.
But Lee cut them well.
For now, he's behaving well.
Mauro isn't ready to commit. Right. Now he's making the second move. First he cleaned up, now he's going over where he cleaned and he knows he can't break anything. 2 or 3 peculiarities. Please be careful because there are 2 or 3 hooks that might seem hidden. Actually, they are very well indicated in the instruction manual. In particular, we have the hook that's right here. When this shredder arrives, it comes with this pin, which is placed in this position and doesn't allow the shredder to open completely. So, on the y-axis. So we only remove it when we're working or need to work in a certain way. Afterward, it's returned to this compartment. And we also have several other pins that can be used to lock our trencher in place. Instead, on the x-axis, so when it moves horizontally, we need 4 hydraulic outlets, or a pair of 2, one for this piston and the other for this one. So in this case, since Mauro doesn't have it, if you have 6 power takeoffs, you can use the 3rd hydraulic point. Otherwise, the 3rd point will have to be manual, a 3rd point that isn't used that much anyway. Other considerations regarding safety, it's a fantastic machine, but it's a machine that requires a really high level of caution. Mauro said it earlier. We should never use the shredder lightly. We need to understand how to ballast it properly. The tractor, more than a matter of horsepower or power, it's about how the tractor is set up. He told us that a tractor like this is at its limit, especially when we use it fully offset. So keep in mind that the guidelines on the website are mostly about horsepower. Consider your tractor's setup and especially think about adding weights to the front. This thing is very simple. As soon as the shredder arrives, go check right away if, by loosening the shredder a bit, the tractor lifts up or not. It stays anchored to the ground. This is the reason why I called Mauro and didn't use the same. With the same, this shredder here wasn't safe to use. 2 considerations, or rather 2 settings that we used. The skids, we kept them fairly high. We weren't interested in shredding more thoroughly or at a lower height, and since the work is excellent anyway, and we didn't open the 2 doors. The rear hood, which can be opened in 2 sections, allows you to open one or both parts, making maintenance and internal cleaning easier. It also allows you to adjust the rear discharge using dedicated screws, adapting the machine to different types of material to be shredded, since they are divided into 2 parts. It is more robust and resistant to deformation, since it does not bend as easily as a single long hood. The central reinforcement ensures additional structural solidity. If you keep them closed or slightly open, the material stays inside and gets shredded. Now, this was also a test we wanted to do. I mean, we tried in various ways to clog the machine to really make it work a lot, just to try to put it in difficulty. The machine never had any trouble. If you look at some clips, there was a little bit of residue. In that case, we raised the shredder a little, moved forward a bit, and then lowered it again. The job was done cleanly. So how does Mauro work, gentlemen? Not me, I'm not that good. Mauro gives me at least 20 laps, at least. Look, he's had it in his hand for 25-30 minutes. Look how he uses it. Damn, he's really good. See, he works slowly. First he went to clean everything, so this part, then he went over underneath. And this is important because with tools like these, as he just told us, we risk hurting ourselves. So you don't trust either the ground or the machine, you go slowly. Then since we're at it, he told me, let's cut between the rows too, since we've already harvested. And how can you say no to him? What can I say? The work turned out really fantastic. Look, it's amazing. And look, we were really right on the edge because here we already start going down into the ditch. It's a shame we couldn't clean the ditch, but with all the plants, of course, there was no other way. I don't know if you remember, before all the brush used to come up to here and there were some pretty tall stalks, especially on the other side. There were brambles that were starting to invade the vineyard. Of course, I didn't clear the area first because I wanted to test her to the maximum of her abilities, putting her to the test. Because here we like to challenge the machines, because that's exactly where you see if they're good or not.